Her name was Andricka McIntosh. 7 o'clock Friday morning when Andricka was shot and killed in front of her home on Gunston near Connor on Detroit's east side.
Andricka McIntosh gasped for breath, her heart pounding wildly as her shaking fingers dialed 911. She sprinted desperately along the quiet street, her voice breaking with panic. "Please, he's chasing me. He's got a gun." She screamed into the phone, her words tumbling over each other in urgency. Her terrified pleas echoed through the quiet morning. Welcome to our channel, Dark Motives. For more such videos, do like, share, and subscribe our channel. Mayim, stay calm. Officers are on their way, the dispatcher replied, but calm was impossible. Andricka glanced back, and her stomach twisted into knots seeing him closing in, his face dark with rage. "Help me, he's going to kill me," Andricka cried, breathless. Gunshots shattered the morning silence, each one louder and closer, slicing through her words. Fear surged through her veins as she stumbled forward, desperately praying she could hold on until help arrived. Sirens wailed in the distance, piercing the air with hope. She tried running faster, but the footsteps behind her grew louder. Another shot cracked sharply, and pain exploded through her body, sending her crashing onto the pavement. The world blurred around her, shadows dancing as the sirens screamed closer. Officers rushed onto the scene, their hearts dropping at the horrifying sight that greeted them. Andricka's lifeless body sprawled on the ground, blood pooling beneath her. Standing defiantly above her, gun still clenched tightly, was Breon McIntosh, her soon-to-be ex-husband. His cold, unflinching stare met theirs, leaving officers stunned by one haunting question. Why had he committed this unthinkable act? In the days leading to her divorce hearing, Andricka McIntosh felt an overwhelming sense of dread. The stress of facing Breon in court weighed heavily on her, twisting her stomach into knots. Every moment felt heavy with anticipation, and sleep became a distant luxury. "You need to be careful," her sister, Canish, warned gently during a late-night call. "He's angry. You never know what he's capable of." "I know," Andricka admitted softly, her voice shaking slightly. "But what else can I do? I can't keep living in fear." The past few weeks had been filled with tense confrontations and unsettling incidents. Breon had appeared unexpectedly at her job, demanding conversations she didn't want. Her car tires were mysteriously slashed one evening. Each incident intensified her anxiety, making the approaching court date feel like a ticking time bomb. Her daughter, Sania, sensed her mother's unease. "Mom, are we going to be okay?" she asked quietly, eyes filled with worry. "Of course, baby," Andricka reassured her, forcing a comforting smile despite her fear. "Everything will be fine." Yet deep inside, doubt gnawed at her. Breon's messages grew increasingly erratic, veiled threats hidden beneath casual words. Andricka felt trapped, unsure how to protect herself and her children. The night before the hearing, a chilling message lit up her phone screen, stealing her breath. "Tomorrow you'll see the truth." Breon's cryptic words echoed ominously in her mind, leaving her questioning everything. Was it merely intimidation, or did his message conceal a darker intention? Andricka McIntosh was known for her endless warmth and laughter, lighting up every room she entered. To her daughter, Sania, she was more than a mother. She was a hero who made every moment special. Sania recalled with a soft smile, "Mom made even the smallest things fun. Our trips to Metro Beach were the best. She loved swimming with us, splashing around like she was one of the kids. She always told me, enjoy these moments. They're what life is all about." Her sister, Canish, echoed this sentiment, her voice heavy with sadness yet proud with love. Andricka's heart was huge, she explained. She gave openly to everyone, even strangers. If you needed help, she wouldn't hesitate. That was just who she was. Stories of her generosity were countless. Once, during a family gathering, a neighbor knocked on the door, embarrassed and needing food for her children. Without pause, Andricka filled bags from her own kitchen, smiling kindly as she handed them over. "Everyone deserves kindness," she told her children, teaching them by example the meaning of compassion. Yet now, these joyful memories felt cruelly cut short. Family gatherings were missing her laughter, and simple daily routines felt incomplete. The abruptness of her passing left a void nothing could fill. The brutality of the crime that took her life was impossible to reconcile with the gentle woman her family cherished. As Sonia quietly wiped tears away, she whispered softly, "She didn't deserve this. Mom only knew how to love." The painful contrast between Andricka's radiant life and tragic end made the loss even harder to bear. Andricka's heart hammered painfully, her breathing ragged with fear.
I love my husband. I love that man to death. I love our relationship. I love what we have built together. I love being his wife. But if anything were to ever happen where we weren't together anymore, I would definitely not do this marriage shit again. Now, me and my husband have been together for 13 years, married for 11. He knows me better than anyone else on this planet, and vice versa. Real marriage is not all sunshine and rainbows, so if that's what you are looking for, do not get married.
Help. He's chasing me. He's got a gun. Her voice cracked, filled with sheer panic. Every second mattered, and each step felt like an eternity. She sprinted down the street, desperate eyes searching for safety as shots cracked sharply behind her. Each bullet whizzing past her was another reminder of Breon's chilling determination. She stumbled forward, gasping, her pleas echoing in the empty street. "Officers are almost there." The dispatcher shouted urgently, but terror gripped Andricka, knowing almost might not be fast enough. Sirens screamed closer, their sound a brief flicker of hope in the chaos. As the police cars skidded to a halt, officers leaped out, hearts racing. Their radios buzzed frantically, orders shouted as they moved swiftly toward the violence unfolding. Suddenly, a final gunshot rang out, freezing everyone in place. Andricka fell silently, collapsing onto the pavement, her cries abruptly silenced. Breon stood eerily calm, gun still firmly grasped, his expression disturbingly vacant. Officers approached cautiously, weapons drawn, shouting commands. "Drop the gun," echoed through the tense silence. Breon hesitated only briefly before complying, showing no resistance or regret. Handcuffed, Breon remained unsettlingly composed, a stark contrast to the frantic chaos he'd caused moments before. His eyes stared blankly, offering no explanation or apology. Officers exchanged troubled glances, wondering what drove a man to such a heartless crime. As Breon was placed into the squad car, a chilling realization settled over everyone present. Justice might be clear, but the mystery behind his cold, calculated violence remained unanswered. In the courtroom, as evidence unfolded, hidden truths about Andricka and Breon's marriage began to surface, shocking everyone present. Friends testified about disturbing incidents they'd witnessed, revealing Breon's abusive behavior that Andricka had desperately tried to hide. One neighbor recalled hearing frequent arguments filled with threats. Another friend described how Breon publicly humiliated Andricka, isolating her from loved ones. The pattern of violence and control had escalated steadily, unnoticed or ignored by authorities, until tragedy struck. Wayne County Prosecutor Kim Worthy spoke grimly, her voice firm yet filled with frustration. "This crime isn't isolated," she said, clearly disturbed. "It's another painful reminder of how domestic violence thrives when warning signs are overlooked. The system failed Andricka, as it fails too many victims." The courtroom grew tense as evidence revealed chilling details of Breon's calculated actions. Security camera footage showed him methodically planning his attack, stalking Andricka in days leading up to her murder. Text messages exposed his menacing intentions, his threats clear yet disguised cleverly enough to evade suspicion. Jurors listened in horror as the prosecution described Breon carefully selecting the time and location for maximum impact, ensuring Andricka had nowhere to escape. His cold, deliberate planning shattered any illusion of spontaneous violence, painting a disturbing picture of premeditated cruelty. As the revelations piled up, the audience's perception shifted dramatically. This wasn't simply a heated conflict gone terribly wrong. It was a chillingly calculated crime rooted deeply in control and manipulation. With every new detail, one haunting question persisted. Could earlier intervention have prevented this tragedy? In the tense silence of the courtroom, all eyes focused sharply on Breon McIntosh. His expression was chillingly calm, detached from the emotional storm surrounding him. Family members stared, their grief raw and palpable, desperately searching his face for remorse that never appeared. Prosecutors laid out their case meticulously, describing each harrowing detail of Andricka's final moments. As the evidence mounted, Breon remained eerily indifferent, his face showing no hint of regret or guilt, causing whispers of disbelief from the courtroom spectators. Canish Williams, Andricka's sister, bravely stepped forward to speak, her voice shaking but determined. "He didn't just take my sister. He stole a mother from her children and left scars we'll never heal," she said, tears flowing freely. Her emotional words painted the devastating human cost of Breon's crime. As the judge called for Breon to speak, anticipation filled the air. Yet his cold gaze offered no remorse, no apology, only silence. This chilling lack of reaction intensified the courtroom drama, leaving observers stunned by his utter lack of empathy. Finally, the judge's voice echoed firmly, breaking the heavy silence. "Guilty of premeditated murder," he announced sternly. Gasps filled the courtroom, relief mixing painfully with sorrow. Yet as Breon was led away in handcuffs, questions lingered unresolved. Justice was served, but could more have been done to prevent Andricka's tragic fate? As the trial concluded, one haunting question remained. Could the justice served truly mend the irreparable wounds left behind? In the quiet aftermath of the courtroom drama, Andricka McIntosh's family worked tirelessly to keep her memory alive. Despite their deep grief, they chose to remember her life filled with love and laughter, not the tragedy that took her away. Sania often shared warm memories, recalling days at Metro Beach, splashing joyfully in the waves, her mother's laughter echoing around them. These moments reminded her family of the love and happiness Andricka spread effortlessly. Her sister Canish dedicated herself to honoring Andricka's legacy by speaking out against domestic violence. She reached out to community groups, passionately urging others to recognize warning signs and seek help before it was too late. "If our story can save even one life," Canish often said with emotion, "then Andricka's death will have meaning." She wouldn't want anyone else to suffer like this. Though justice had been served in the courtroom, the true healing came from remembering Andricka's vibrant life, not her tragic death. Her story became a powerful call for change, highlighting the urgent need for communities to recognize domestic violence early, intervene decisively, and provide victims the protection they deserve before it's too late. Don't forget to share your thoughts on this horrific crime in the comment section.